This is Valley News Live at 5.
Good afternoon, everyone. We begin with new information. We now know the name of the two people who died in a house fire in Wadena Township over the weekend. The sheriff's office identifying them as 46-year-old Michael Black and 42-year-old Paula Black. A 13-year-old boy was found outside with minor burns. He was treated for his injuries and released a short time later. The cause of that fire still under investigation. Ground was broken today on a project aiming to ensure eastern North Dakota's water needs in the future. Formal ceremonies were held near Carrington to mark the start of pipeline construction for the Red River Valley Water Supply Project. This project comes with a $1 billion price tag. For Fargo, this is big news because the city relies primarily on the Red River for its water. This would make sure that even during future drought conditions, the city would have water.
When we first started looking into this project was a question of, is this dream ever going to come to reality? And we were very pleased as we went along. The legislative body began to be more and more helpful to us, and they wanted us to get water to the east just as much as we did.
Back in the 1930s, the Red River almost dried up, and supporters of this project say that could lead to billions of dollars in economic damage to the entire region. There's no real guarantee that rain is coming anytime soon. However, there are some possibilities. Let's find out from Hutch if that includes tonight. Hutch?
Mike, thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. We do have some improved conditions here at the surface of our air conditions and air quality in the FM area. But as we take a look at what's going on right now, we do have some conditions that are, well, in the FM area looking like this. Here, let's take a look at the max one. It's 111, the reading here, latest reading at the FM area. And that's down quite a bit. Now, we still have some haze in the skies, but at least what's at the surface a little bit improved. Elsewhere, we're seeing some of the thickest conditions out near Bemidji, and actually no data here up in northeast portions of North Dakota, but we do see a milky haze moving into Langdon, Cavalier, and the Grand Forks and Crookston areas right now. Reduced quality of the air there, and it's showing up as the lowest visibilities right now for Cavalier, 3 miles. Hey, there's some showers of rain out to the west, Mike, in Montana heading this way, and we have a chance at seeing some by morning, but that smoke forecast shows south winds sweeping us clear for the time being. As we go through tomorrow, this is Wednesday afternoon, we could have, even in the midst of south winds, some smoke from the upper atmosphere mixing down in Minnesota. Then it looks like a little bit of a break early Thursday with a return to nasty smoke and north winds potentially on your Thursday night and into your Friday forecast. Mike, this evening it's going to be hot with periods of smoke here and there, and it looks dry. I'll have details on that rain out west and when and who may see a chance of rain in the forecast here in a moment.
All right, thanks so much. Two women were arrested early this morning and accused of stealing a catalytic converter. Someone called Moorhead police to say they saw someone underneath the vehicle and could hear a saw. 38-year-old Nicole McAloney and 37-year-old Melissa DeJarlais were arrested and taken to the Clay County Jail. It happened in the 400 block of 18th Street South. Cass County deputies in trouble with the law after being arrested for DUI with minors present. Deputy Jacob Danielson was involved in a crash at Custom Express Car Wash in Fargo on Monday. His two children were also in the vehicle at the time of the crash. Danielson is now on paid administrative leave pending an investigation. No one was injured in that crash. Jury selections underway in the civil trial of Darren Patterson, who spent 15 months in prison for fatally punching someone outside the Hodo Restaurant and Lounge in downtown Fargo in 2017. The victim's wife and friend claimed the Hodo and Patterson should be financially liable for damages they occurred. The trial of the former Brooklyn Center police officer charged in the shooting death of Dante Wright has been moved up a week. It was scheduled to begin December 6th. It's now set to start November 30th. No word on why they're rescheduling. Kim Potter and the Brooklyn Center police chief resigned 2 days after the fatal shooting. The Minnesota Attorney General and Metro prosecutors are launching a new unit to review potentially wrongful convictions in the state. It's been done through a partnership with the Minnesota Innocence Project. The new unit will also try to determine frequent causes of wrongful convictions to prevent such cases and potentially identify those who actually commit the crime. A Pentagon police officer is dead after being stabbed during a burst of violence at a transit station outside the Pentagon. The Pentagon was temporarily placed on lockdown after multiple gunshots were fired this morning near the entrance of the building. A suspect was shot by law enforcement, died at the scene. An investigation is underway. The U.S. has reached a crucial vaccination goal as the Delta variant wreaks havoc on states with the fewest number of vaccinated people. This comes as more employers like Tyson Foods, SoulCycle, and Equinox are getting serious about the Delta variant by rolling out vaccine mandates for its employees and customers. Isabel Rosales reports on the escalated order in what once was the epicenter of the pandemic in the U.S. that excludes the unvaccinated from most indoor activities.
A race to get Americans vaccinated. The U.S. reaching a major goal. 70% of adults have at least one COVID-19 shot. The White House now setting its sights on the private sector.
We need everyone to get vaccinated in this pandemic, and it's critical to keeping the economy strong.
As is New York City, set to become the first in the U.S. to require proof of vaccination to enter restaurants, gyms, performances, and other indoor activities.
If you're unvaccinated, unfortunately, you will not be able to participate in many things.
Meanwhile, hospitals are once more filling up as COVID-19 tears through states with higher numbers of the unvaccinated, mostly in the southeast. Florida's governor doubling down against mandates as his state leads the nation in number of new cases.
There's people that were hermits for a year and a half that wore 6 masks and did that and still contracted it, okay? So let's just be real here.
In Louisiana, doctors are sounding the alarm. On Monday, the state's largest hospital ran out of beds.
This is the absolute worst that we've seen.
Their patients are getting younger.
Now we're seeing 40 to 60 kids a week diagnosed with COVID-19 in the emergency department and admitting more and more of those.
And in those hardest hit states, the White House says daily vaccination rates have more than doubled. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
The number of new cases of COVID-19 in children continues to rise. A new report says nearly 72,000 new pediatric cases were reported last week. Now that's a substantial increase from the roughly 39,000 new cases that were reported the previous week. The report also shows that children represented nearly a fifth of the new weekly cases. As of July 29th, approximately 4.2 million children have tested positive since the pandemic began. And with the Minnesota State Fair starting in just a few weeks, planning and COVID safety protocols are on people's minds. As of right now, masks will not be required even indoors, and the fair won't be asking for proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. But the general manager says everything is still on the table.
We're in close contact with the state health department and whatever the latest CDC guidelines are, so they're always a big part of whatever we do in terms of planning.
Meanwhile, if you attend a show at First Avenue or any of its venues, you'll now need either proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. If you want McDonald's, you're going to have to mask up. The fast food chain originally dropped its mask mandate for the fully vaccinated back in May, but it's now requiring face coverings for employees and customers in COVID hotspots, regardless of their vaccination status. We want to show you now the CDC's county-by-county online data tracker. This color-coded map uses orange to show substantial transmission and red to show high transmission. Cass County, right here, and Richland County are above the substantial transmission areas, and most counties in northwestern Minnesota are also in the yellow, which means moderate. Essentia Health is providing a more convenient way to schedule your child's doctor visits. These visits are to ensure your child is healthy before going back to school. At their visits, the doctor will perform a physical exam, and your child may receive necessary shots like vaccinations for HPV, meningitis, or COVID-19. When it's age appropriate, substance abuse, proper dieting, and sexual health are other options of discussion.
Any adult would agree that being a teenager is difficult. It takes a lot of support and other loving, caring adults in their lives to help teens learn how to grow and to be successful. And this is just another way that you can have another caring adult be a part of their lives.
Each appointment can take between 30 and 40 minutes. This is an upcoming Moorhead School Board meeting to talk about the Delta variant surging and what schools are doing to keep everyone safe. It's going to be at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Full details can be found on valleynewslive.com. Stick around. Later on Valley News Live at 5, we're going to go live to West Fargo, where police want to build a bridge with the community.
The grain harvest in full swing across the valley, and not bad reports of yields for some areas. In fact, heard from people in northwest Minnesota saying as many as 60 bushels per acre. Your forecast could bring some showers. We'll show you when and where next.